This is the Seller Process Podcast, where we talk about the best systems, processes, and SOPs for your Amazon business so that you can regain control of your time, build up your team, and scale your e-com empire.
Hello, entrepreneurs. If you are looking to launch your brand, but you are not sure how to secure a good name and what the steps to file a trademark are, then this episode is for you. Our guest today will share with us the process to obtain a trademark and how to avoid costly problems that could put your dream to launch your brand in jeopardy. I'm joined today by Anita Mar, a Canadian trademark agent with more than 24 years of experience. Her firm, Trademark Angels, helped to register trademarks in many countries, including Canada, USA, EU, UK, Mexico, China, and many others. And they offer also a free trademark search and initial consultation to anyone interested in filing a new trademark. Hello, Anita. Welcome to the show.
Oh,
Thank you for being here.
Hello, Gianmarco.
Good to see you. Good to see you.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me.
Nice. Yes. Thank you for joining. So I want to break the ice with directly with the steps of how to file a trademark, because the rest of our conversation will be around this topic. So many people obviously need to create a trademark if they're starting selling on Amazon, especially if they want to get the benefits of a brand registry. But in general, any business as a best practice should file a trademark on their brand name, right? So let's go through the steps to file a trademark so we have a better understanding of it, and so we can kind of be strategic around it, right? Once we have the knowledge of how it works.
Sure. So the steps to file a trademark. Well, the first step is to find a trademark name that you like. I think that's the most difficult step because not all trademarks are registrable, not all trademark names are good, and we'll talk about that later. Once you found the name, you should determine what products you're going to sell or what services you're going to offer, and that will be part of your business plan as well. But it's essential to know what exactly you're going to cover under your trademark, because a trademark is filed for specific products or for specific services. Then the next step is to do a trademark search. And a trademark search can be done by checking the Trademarks Office database to check if there are any similar trademarks already filed. But it should also be done by checking Google, just generally, to see what comes up, to see if any other companies use your trademark name, by checking the domain names, to see if the domain name that you want to get is available, by checking the social media handles, the Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, like whatever social media you're going to use, because ideally the social media handle should coincide with the trademark, ideally. I mean, it doesn't have to, but it's ideal. And the same with the domain name, it's ideal if it's the same. If all of this is clear, if social media is clear, you don't find anything on Google, the Trademarks Office database doesn't show any similar trademarks, then it's time to do the trademark application. So you prepare the trademark application and then you submit it, and those are the basic steps. When it comes to the trademark search, it's best if it's done by professionals, but you should definitely do the basic search yourself before you even, go to a trademark firm to help you. Those basic steps should be done by yourself. I mean, it's free, it's easy. I mean, it's just, basic due diligence.
Okay, that's great. So this seems kind of a simple steps, but I think obviously there is lots to talk about for each step and lots of suggestions. So starting from choosing the name, what are the best practices? I know there are several mistakes that people make when doing the very first step, and obviously it goes through the rest of the process if done wrong. So what are these common mistakes that people make in choosing the trademark name?
Yeah, some of the common mistakes we see is that people are too afraid to be original. They usually pick a trademark name that's too descriptive or too generic or just clearly describes their products. It's not original enough, it's not distinctive enough, it's just a little bit boring. And that makes it difficult to register. Or a trademark owner can pick a name that's already too close to another trademark. So then it will be difficult to register. You are looking at potential opposition. You may be sued for trademark infringement. And another mistake is that when you don't do proper trademark search and you file, you just rush. You file too early without checking that everything is clear. The last mistake is when you file too late. So filing too early and filing too late are two very common mistakes. We have a lot of clients who come to us without a clear idea of what they're going to sell. They just want to protect their name because they've been told by their Amazon coach that you have to file a trademark, but they don't know what they're going to sell. They don't have this business plan, but they want to file without knowing how they're going to use their trademark name. And sometimes we have clients who come to us because somebody is using their trademark or somebody filed for their trademark, and then they are panicking. Anita, what should I do? Somebody filed for my trademark, or I found that somebody is using my trademark. I want to sue them for trademark infringement, but the trademark is not registered yet. So at that point, it may be a little bit late to file. I mean, it's still doable, but it will be much more costly to get a trademark registered. Those are the most common mistakes.
I wanna touch on this last one. I think it's interesting. Like, so for example, if somebody starts selling a product under a brand name, and but they don't register their trademark, and maybe some other person see the opportunity to register before that person, or maybe just by chance, two people from two different parts of the world, they come up with the same name. What happened? Is it?
Well,
yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, yeah, I was going to say it depends on the country, because some countries, it's a little bit of a difficult concept. Some countries have common law rights, and it's a first to use system that they use. And some countries don't have common law rights. In this case, it's a first to file, like a first to use system is like Canada, US. So it means that you have common law rights that arise from the fact that you have been using your trademark. So it means that if you're the first user of a particular trademark, you can stop other people even if they filed before you filed. But if it's a first to file country like China, and we'll talk about that later, I believe, in this case, whoever filed the trademark first gets all the rights to this trademark, and not much you can do about that unless you can prove bad faith, which is extremely difficult. So if we are talking about countries like Canada, US, some European countries, you may be able to file an opposition if somebody files for your trademark, but you should be able to prove your own earlier common law rights, that you were using your trademark first before the other company. If you can't prove that, so let's say you just came up with the name, you wanted to file, but you delayed, but you didn't really start trading, and then you see that somebody else filed, then you're out of luck. You basically have to rebrand because you don't have any common law rights you can rely on, and you were just too late to file. And it happens all the time. People come to us saying, okay, I want to file, and then they procrastinate for like 1, 2, 3 months, and then when they're ready to file, it's too late to file because somebody already filed.
Wow. Okay, that's interesting. It's it would be such a big problem, I guess, for a brand, if they're already selling the products, to rebrand the products. And it can be solved very easily. So that's really good to know.
Well, even if you sell, so let's say you sell on Amazon, but you didn't file for like whatever reason, and then you notice that somebody else filed, even if you do have prior rights, this first filed application will be approved by default because it was the first one to be filed. The Trademarks Office will approve the first application that was submitted. And then the only way for you to stop them is to file a trademark opposition. And that is very expensive. Like in the US, it's extremely expensive. In Canada, it's also expensive. In some European countries, it's not cheap anywhere. So many Amazon sellers, many entrepreneurs just don't have the money to fight. So that's the reality. So even if they know they own this trademark because they created the name, they started selling first, but just because they don't have the money, they are forced to rebrand, and that is obviously very expensive as well. So either way, you lose.
Right. Yeah, for sure. So something to be aware of for sure. But I'm curious, like in practical terms, how would a brand come to know that the trademark has been filed already? I guess when somebody is filing a trademark, I mean, I would not know it, right? So maybe I just come up with, I know it only when I do the research in the moment I'm going to register it, right?
Well, of course, yeah. I mean, you check the database, and then just before, like for example, how we work, we do a trademark search. If the trademark is registrable, we prepare the application. And then if a lot of time has passed since we did the search, we do another search just before we submit the application. Because sometimes we see, oh, something was filed like a couple of days ago. Okay, what do we do now? We don't file, obviously, then we tell the client. But yes, you have to do the trademark search because no one will tell you. So yes, you have to do your own due diligence.
Right. So I mean, potentially the trademark could even go as far as further as being approved and registered completely, right? And then I mean, you're not going to fight against it while it's in the process. Sometimes maybe you notice it too far away,
oh yes,
and the trademark is registered already.
Yes, because when you file, like even to file an opposition, there is a certain time period when you can do this. Like in the US, it's 30 days. In Canada, it's 2 months. Like in some European countries, it's like 3 months. But it's a certain time period when you have to file an opposition. So if you notice a similar trademark, then you start monitoring it if you want to file an opposition. But if you miss that time period, then you have to cancel a registered trademark, and that's like a big problem as well. So it's even more expensive and more complicated. But yes, you're right. In the US, the trademark will not register very quickly. It takes about 18 months. In Canada, it takes 36 months. In the European Union, it takes 5 months. So it will not be immediate. But yes, I mean, it's possible. I mean, we've seen situations when a client purchased a trademark package, then they disappeared. I mean, obviously we sent reminders, but they just disappeared. And then they reappeared wanting to file, but by that time, their trademark was already registered because they just, procrastinated for too long and delayed the filing for like whatever reasons. Yes, it happens because people, tend to delay, doing things they don't particularly like. And I noticed that, dealing with the trademarks is not, our client's favorite. They want things to get done, but they don't want to do a lot of work, obviously. But it's a process that requires work, unfortunately, on both sides.
Nobody likes the bureaucratic filing documents.
It's like accounting. To me, it's like accounting. I don't like accounting. I don't like bookkeeping. Those like invoices, statements. I try to delay that or pretend I didn't see my accountant's email until it's almost too late. So it's the same with trademarks, I think. Yeah, people just procrastinate, especially when we need something from them. I mean, it's human nature. It's just human nature. It's
for sure. Yeah, so that brings me to the question: should we file before we launch a product or after? What is your suggestion? Because I think also the trademark is different when a product is in the market or not.
Yes, I mean, well, my advice is to file a trademark as soon as possible. Don't wait to see how the business is going to go. If you have spent time coming up with the unique name or with a unique logo, then you should take the time to protect it by trademarking. Registering your trademark is one of the most cost-effective and practical ways to protect your brand. And by waiting to register, you're not really gaining anything, but you're risking your brand. So if somebody else decides to register your brand, it will be much more difficult for you to prove your rights. So my advice is to file as early as possible, and preferably before the name goes public. So if you're about to launch, So let's say you're about to launch now, file it first and then launch, because we've seen that sometimes a name is taken as soon as it goes public, not because people are bad or they do it in bad faith, but because they see a name, they like it, they may check the database, see that it's clear, and file it. So they do it in good faith, thinking that, okay, I found a good trademark name and it's not filed.
Okay, I see. But can you actually file a trademark when you don't have any product in the market? I think there's like a distinction. I've been asked many years ago.
No. You have to file a trademark for specific products. You have to list them. But when you file a trademark, you don't necessarily have to sell them. Like in the US, you have to sell them eventually before the trademark is registered. In many other countries, like the European Union, UK, Canada, you don't need to sell anything. I mean, you don't need to specify whether the products are sold or not. All you need to do is to list them.
Okay. So if you know already what kind of products they will be, like the category, then you can actually just list them, and even if the product has not been launched yet, there's nothing in the market.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, actually everywhere, even in the US, you file a trademark based on future sales. You just need to know what you're going to sell. If you know what you're going to sell, you can file a trademark.
Okay, interesting. All right. So then, talking about this, the category of products, what are what's your advice? Because I've seen some people, filing for as many product categories as possible, just to cover everything.
Yeah.
Who knows, in the future maybe they will sell that product. What's your take on that? What should we do?
Yes, I mean, you should. We always suggest to file for products that you are realistically going to sell like in the next 2 years. Don't try to protect everything, like for a few reasons. I mean, reason number one, the government fees that you pay to the trademarks office, they depend on the number of classes that you include. Just to briefly explain, so all products and all services are divided into groups, and those groups are called classes. And you pay government fees per class in almost every country. In the US, those fees, there is no discount. So if it's, let's say it's $350 right now, so you multiply that by 2 classes or by 3 classes. In Canada, there is a discount for the second class. In the UK and the EU, there is a discount as well, but you still pay per class. So if you file in a number of classes, let's say in 2 or 3 classes, it becomes more expensive to register. Then if your trademark includes multiple classes, it becomes more difficult to register, because there may be more confusingly similar trademarks. So your trademark may be registrable in a single class, but it may not be registrable in multiple classes, and then we'll get a confusion objection, and then you have to divide a trademark, so just extra money again. And the last reason is that by including a lot of classes, like in the US, you pretty much cannot complete the registration until you start selling all of those products. So you can file, but your trademark will not register until you sell all of those products. So if you file for 100 products, well, realistically, it's very difficult to launch all of them. So again, it will lead to extra costs, because you will need to get extensions of time, an extra headache, and then eventually you may need to delete products that you don't sell. In countries where you don't need to sell, yes, it's not an issue. But if we're talking about the US, it is an issue. So if you're an Amazon seller, you can file in a single class. You will limit your costs, keep within the budget. It makes the trademark registration easier and quicker, and just more streamlined. So keep it simple. That's my advice, especially when you start, because it's easy to get overwhelmed. Oh, what about this product? What about that? I may sell that in 3 years, and then it becomes like a nightmare. We see this a lot. Client comes to us wanting to sell a single product, and then they get greedy. They want to add more and more and more, because it's cheaper to include multiple products in the same trademark. That's what it seems, than filing multiple trademarks.
Right. Okay, but anyway, it's something that we can still add in the future, right? It's not set in stone. We can still update the trademark to integrate other categories. Am I
Yeah,
right?
well, it's a good question. Yes and no. You cannot make changes to the trademark after it has been filed. I mean, you cannot expand the list of products. You cannot change the trademark name. You can delete products that you don't want, but you cannot add. But you can always file a second trademark under the same name for additional products. You can have multiple trademarks for the same name for different products. And once you have first trademark registered, filing for like a second trademark will be easier. So it will lead to a quicker trademark, quicker registration.
Okay. Yeah, that's great to know. I think it
So
might
just to
be a
explain,
misconception.
yeah, if you know what you're going to sell and the list of products, let's say 20, I mean, I'm not recommending to like limit that. If you know I'm going to sell 20 products, yes, we should include all of them. But if you're just trying to think for the future and you're trying to imagine the products and you may never sell them, then don't include them. So if it's in your business plan, okay, I'm going to launch this, then in 6 months, I'm launching these 3 products. In 1 year, I'm launching these 5 products. And then in 2 years, I'm launching 10 more. Then yes, well, we should include all of them because it's in your business plan. You have done your research. But if you're just trying to guess what else you may need, then it's not a good strategy.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, makes sense. That's good advice for sure. So then we mentioned about the mistakes and what not to do, but let's try to give people also what to do, some tips and best practices to choose a great trademark. What can they be? What's your suggestion?
Yeah. So like how to choose a great trademark, that's like a very good question. We see that business owners often pick a weak name. Like for example, now keto diet is very popular and many file a trademark application and they want to sell supplements that aid, keto diet. So some of our clients are not very creative and they like the name of the products, something like keto wellness or keto supplements or keto cream, keto slim, keto beauty. You should choose trademarks that consist of invented or coined words, like created words. And these marks are created from made-up terms and have no meaning other than a trademark. And this type of mark should be your best choice when trying to come up with a trademark name. Like, for example, it's Exxon, Kodak, Lululemon. Those are all cool trademark names. Sometimes you want a trademark that contains a descriptive term and a unique word. And those are like really good trademarks that consist of 2 words. So trademark angel. Trademark is descriptive of the industry. Okay, where in the trademark field, angel is unique because we're not real angels. So it's suggestive here. Talking about keto diet, one of the words can be keto or supplements. And then the other word should be unique. Like, for example, keto zebra, keto moon, fabulicious keto. So those are all good trademarks because it gives your client a sense of like what you sell or like what industry you're in, and at the same time it contains a unique word. Another advice is to avoid descriptive marks. So those are the marks that are associated with the products. Words that describe a feature like end result, use of the product, they usually cannot be registered. In many countries, in the US, they can be registered, but such trademarks will not be acceptable for Amazon, unfortunately. And they will not allow you to get in the brand registry. And descriptive marks are like, for example, gold medal or like last names are also descriptive. For example, cold and creamy for ice cream will be descriptive, or like hot and crispy for baked products will be descriptive. You should also avoid generic terms. Those are terms that just name the products or name the services, like, for example, Pet Expo for Pet Expo services, or like green apples for apples. That will not be registrable at all. I mean, under no circumstances in no country it will be registrable. So my best advice is to pick a trademark that consists of 2 words. One of the words is descriptive and the other word is unique, and those will be the best type of trademarks. Not too long, not too short. And also from personal experience, we noticed that trademarks that are shorter than 6 letters are usually not registrable in the US because they're too short. and the database is already crowded with any type of trademarks. Especially in the last 3 years, a lot of trademarks have been filed. So if you want to pick a name that consists of one word, make it longer. If you're okay with 2 words, then you have more freedom.
Okay, that's very interesting. And by the way, you guys can also learn more about these tips and tricks and best practices from the PDF that Anita is sharing with us. You can find it in our website, thesellerprocess.com. You'll find it in the show notes. There is a link, or in the link that you will find in the description of the YouTube video. Okay, you'll be able to download a PDF named "How to Choose a Brand Name That Can Be Trademarked." So yeah, that's by Anita that is sharing it with us. So Anita, before we close, one last thing I want to cover is the filing our trademark internationally. So how to protect our brand internationally, and also whether should we file it only in the countries that we're selling in. Like, for example, if we sell in the US, should we only file it in the US, or do you suggest us filing the trademark in other countries? Because there are some debates about this. For example, people suggesting to trademark in their country of manufacturing, right? So what's your take on this whole international strategy?
Yeah, well, my advice is to start small. Again, when you just start a business, there are a lot of expenses, so it's easy to spend a lot of money on trademarking. So start by trademarking the name in the country where you sell. Look at the countries where you sell, like where your clients come from. Do they come from the US, or do they come from Mexico, or are they from the UK or Australia? So that should be your target market, and that's the country where you should definitely file. And then there may be like secondary countries. I don't know, maybe you have some clients from Canada. You should file a trademark in Canada. We also recommend that clients use the priority. So it means if you file in your home country, so let's say it's a Canadian client, they file in Canada first, you can file in other countries within the 6 months period, and your filing date in that country will be retroactive to the Canadian filing date. So let's say you file in the UK. So let's say we file in Canada on September 25th. And then as long as you file before March 25th, your real filing date in the UK, for example, will be September 25th. So it will be retroactive. So it's the strategy that's made to protect business owners. And we recommend that our clients use it. So file in your home country, then take 6 months to see how your business is going. Look at your statistics, where else you may want to file, and then file in those additional countries. But start small. I think that's the best advice. I mean, start in your home country, or start in the country where you have most of your clients, and then expand slowly. Talking about the country of manufacture, yes, a lot of our clients, source their products from China for their Amazon business. Talking about China, it's a tricky country. If a third-party trademark is successfully registered in China, so let's say you haven't filed your trademark in China because you don't sell anything there, so you didn't really do that. So let's say your factory or somebody else files your trademark, and then they record it at the customs. You may be prevented from exporting your products in the future from China. So it means you will not be able to sell, your own products will not be able to leave China. And sometimes you will be forced to buy that trademark from a third party. So we recommend to file a trademark in China if you source your products in China, just to prevent that from happening. We have seen it a few times already. Obviously, it's done intentionally. If somebody files a trademark in China, it's the first to file country in China. So you can theoretically argue against this, and you can try and claim bad faith if you can prove it. Usually it cannot be proved. So in that case, you will not be able to get your trademark, so the other trademark will register, and then you'll be forced to buy it, obviously at a higher price. So if you source your products from China, file a trademark there. We file in China. We have a really great lawyer in China with great English. it's something that cannot be underestimated. It's like one of those countries that, you know, can be very tricky to deal with if you don't file there.
Yeah, that's very interesting, and thank you for bringing that up because it's something I'm aware of, and I actually filed a trademark in China with you guys because it's kind of a frightening uh, thing that can happen if one day you need to rush for a shipment to FBA.
Yeah.
And you've been told that you cannot ship products because somebody else owns your trademark. That's kind of a crazy thing. So that you don't want to happen, right? So
yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to mention, like, if a third-party trademark is registered and you're afraid that the registrant may block the export of your goods, you can ask us to check whether that other party filed customs recording each time you're exporting your goods. So it's possible to check, but obviously it's a hassle. So yes, we do strongly recommend to file in China. So probably file in the country where you're going to sell. So let's say the US, and in China if you source your products from China. If it's not China, then obviously you don't need to file there unless you sell in China.
Right, exactly. Okay. That's great. Yeah, thank you very much, Anita, for all that you shared. Let people know how you can help them if they would like to file a trademark. Obviously, they will need the support of professional people like you guys. So share your contacts and let people know how can you help them.
Yeah, just go on our website, trademarkangel.com, and you can ask for a free trademark search, no strings attached. So we'll do a basic search for free. We'll tell you if we find anything. You can book a phone call with us. Our number is 226, so +1 area country code 226-246-2979. Again, the call is free. And we're looking forward to working with you.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you very much, Anita, for sharing your tips.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you.
Nice talking to you. Thank you for having me.
Same. Thank you very much. So guys, remember, the key to success is to emulate the best. So take home the tips that Anita just shared with us. And remember to download the PDF that Anita is sharing that you can find in our website, thesellerprocess.com, or in the YouTube video description. So I hope you enjoy the content of this week. Put a like on YouTube or a review on the podcast platform that you're listening this from. And I hope you have a productive week. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye. Hey, entrepreneurs. I hope you enjoyed the episode and learned something from the interview. If you're serious about creating systems for your business, automating processes, and building up your team so that you can transfer the tedious daily tasks in order to focus on more high-level strategic tasks and work on your business and not in your business, I've created a guide for Amazon sellers named Capturing Systems and Creating SOPs that you can find at thesellerprocess.com/systems ebook, where you will learn how to leverage systems and SOPs in your Amazon business so that you can accomplish more by working less, optimize your time, automate and delegate tasks, and reap the benefits of being a true business owner and not simply an operator in your own business. Go download the ebook at thesellerprocess.com/systems ebook and start implementing all the tips and insights that I share with you. And leave us a review or a comment to let us know how the content we are sharing here is making an impact in your business. And have a productive week.